am live here in Vegas. Sorry, I am in my room and it's a little late. So I just wanted to go ahead and do my update for day 5 of the trial. I will just go ahead and give it a few minutes and see if anybody gets on here. I know it's late on the East Coast and it's actually kind of getting late here. So, right, so today's day 5 of the Bundy et al. Trial, which includes Eric Parker, Stephen Stewart, Scott Drexler, and Ricky Lovelien. And what I wanted to do is talk about perjury. Now, the definition of perjury is the offense of willfully telling an untruth in a court after having taken an oath or an affirmation. And that is what we are seeing today. We saw a lot of perjury by everybody that was on the stand. So they were called out on it, either by, well, actually they were called out on it once they were crossed, but the fact of the matter that it's going on. Hey, I see you guys. Thank you for waiting up. We have LSM Militia with us, and they have been working very closely with me, which is great. I'm going to have them on my live soon. Thank you guys for putting up with me. I know it's been crazy, but I leave on the 27th, so things will slow down a little bit. But let me go ahead and let you know a little bit of what happened today. So under cross-examination today, we had Officer McEwen, who testified, and he was under oath. Of course, he was under oath, but he did testify under oath that he did not see Eric Parker in the prone position on the bridge. So that's a good thing, to have him come out and actually say that I didn't see Eric in the prone position on the bridge. Now, of course, we all know that he was in the crouched and prone position on the bridge, but well, I'll just go on and let you know what happened, and then I'll let you know why this is so important. Okay, so now Officer McEwen, he was the aerial surveillance, which was taking the video real time of what was going on at the staging grounds, at the bridge, and in the wash. So he was the only aerial view that we had. He did leave at, was it at lunchtime to around, no, when was it that he left to go get fuel in the plane, and we did not have anyone else on the ground. I can't remember what time it was, but he did leave at one point to go get fuel, and he did testify that he was the only plane that was doing the aerial footage because they didn't feel that we needed more than one plane. So with the government coming back and saying that they felt that the agents were at risk and that they were being attacked and threatened, I would question that, considering we only had one plane in the air taking surveillance of the whole area. So now Officer McEwen did testify that it was not until after meeting with the prosecution and the FBI and being shown his own aerial footage, this trial, he didn't notice this last trial, he just saw it this trial, that Eric Parker was in the prone position on the bridge. And that is how he became aware of it, was being shown it by the prosecution and the FBI. So in other words, McEwen's eyewitness account that he testified to seeing in real time was really not his eyewitness account. It was hearsay. And being pointed out to him by the U.S. Attorney and by the FBI. And remember, he didn't testify to this last trial. So I think that's pretty important on that. Now, another important thing, McEwen also could not determine if the people were in the wash or on the bridge. And that just goes back to my live stream on Thursday, when I had said that it looked simply like an anthill. I could not really tell you what anything was on there. It looked like a bunch of ants just kind of running around in circles. So he basically sat over it, recorded it, and really saw nothing. Okay, so now there was a question by the jury, and the question was, you know, about the BLM. They wanted to know if the BLM were able to see the protesters on the bridge from their position. Now, Judge Navarro, of course, hey Jamie, what are you doing? We miss you over here. So the question was if they could see the protesters on the bridge from their position. And Judge Navarro would not allow McEwen to answer that. Now, I would honestly think that, hey Jim, thank you for looking. I would honestly think that McEwen wouldn't be able to answer that, and Navarro should have just let him answer it, because if he couldn't tell you if they were in the wash or on the bridge, I'm not sure how he would testify to what the BLM saw and what they did not see. I know you are working on Camp Liberty. Jamie is working on a place right now, Camp Liberty, for our patriots that come out here to stay. And graciously, a local has allowed us to use their land, and Jamie's out there making improvements on it so they can stay through the whole trial. Now, I know that you got some air units in the window today, didn't you, Jamie? And we do need any help that anybody would be willing to do with that, as far as if you could send a care package maybe, or donations. If Jamie can pop in the comments maybe what he needs over there, and a GoFundMe link for Camp Liberty, and that will go over and help with their efforts over there. That's pretty important that we get that done, because then we have a place for our patriots to stay, and they're safe, and it's a great place to be. And I'll tell you that Jamie is amazing, and he does keep us safe. He's very watchful, and the women are they're protected being over there with him. So it's a great place for him to be over there, or for them to be over there, and all of us together, instead of everybody just kind of spread out. And that's kind of how we are now, is you know, we get together, but then we're all in different places. Like, I'm in my hotel room, and you know, it would just be better for everybody to be together. So Jamie will put that link in there for you, where you can donate, or an address where you can send electrical cords, anything that would help with home improvements, anything like that. And that would be great and greatly appreciated. Okay, so next we want to go on and talk about the BLM agents. So if the BLM agents really were not aware of the position of the protesters on the bridge, which I believe by viewing the footage, this is huge, because they would not, it would go back to their testimony that they feared for their lives. If they weren't aware of it happening, how can you possibly fear for your lives? The videos on my page, actually, we have a link on here that will actually show you the leaked footage that will show you that there was no aggressive stance from the protesters. The protesters were simply in the wash. They went under the bridge to get out of the sun. Ammon did have great conversations with the sheriff. He did ask the sheriff to stay. So I will get that link in there, and you can watch the YouTube video. It's about 30 minutes, but it's very educational, and it will help you see kind of what the prosecution's using. They are twisting this video footage, and they're trying to make it look really, really horrible, when in actuality it's really twisted. So, okay. So, Stewart's attorney, Tanasi, did bring to attention under recross that McEwen was not aware of Eric Parker in the prone position until reviewing the video this trial, and it wasn't even mentioned during the last trial, so that is very important as well. So to me, it's almost like the U.S. Attorney and the feds are really coaching the witnesses, and that will take me into our next witness. Let me see, Jamie, you have, hey, April, how are you doing? Okay, so the address that you can send a care package to help out with Camp Liberty is going to be 1217 South 4th, Las Vegas, Nevada. And that's in the comments, and you can address that to Jamie Landin. It's Jamey Landin, Landin. And like I said, if we have any patriots out here in the area that can come out and help Jamie get some work done, that would be great. Jamie's been out there pressure washing, picking up garbage, weed eating, doing everything to get Camp Liberty ready for everybody. It's a very overwhelming task for one individual. So if we can have some patriots that would be, you know, willing to do that, message me and I can put you in touch with Jamie. Or, you know, go ahead and send Jamie a message. And then, let's see, you have the information for your donation account. Okay, I'll get the GoFundMe link as well, put in the comments once I'm done with the video, if you want to make a financial contribution to it, because they are spending a lot of money. They are buying a lot of stuff, and they have went ahead and went with live streams and show you what they were purchasing. So I can get that information in here as well. Okay, so the next witness to the stand today under cross-examination was, I know you would, Jim, you're great, you're awesome. So the next witness we had today was Alex Ellis. Now, he's the individual who testified on Wednesday, and you're welcome, bro. So he testified in place of the deceased video journalist Michael Flynn, and I really had a problem with this because basically they want Ellis to tell you Flynn's state of mind at the time. Like I said, that's all for interpretation, and I really do not think that Ellis can tell you the state of mind that Flynn was in, considering Flynn went down into the wash and Ellis stayed up on the bridge, which I found interesting. I believe it was Teresa who brought it up. Hi, Michelle, how are you doing? You know, Flynn had said that it was too dangerous for Ellis to go down into the wash. But yet, if it was so dangerous, why did Flynn leave Ellis on the bridge where we had snipers that were going to shoot federal agents? That doesn't work for me, guys. So, I mean, we really need to think about that. So, next, so under cross-examination, we had Ellis, who, he was testifying for Michael Flynn. Michael Flynn is deceased. He was a journalist for St. George Independent, and Ellis was supposed to be cross-examined on Thursday of last week, but we didn't get him until today because he was out. He had to go to urgent care. He had hurt his back. So he was there today, and it was a good thing because the cross-examination was great. It showed perjury. So now, prior to testimony last week, I just want to point out, so prior to Ellis's testimony last week during this trial, Ellis met with the attorney 3 times, so our U.S. attorney 3 times, and the FBI twice to go over Flynn's footage and the testimony. I see a problem with that. 3 times to go over footage with the FBI and the U.S. attorney. Okay, so our next witness, who we're going to call out here, was, oh no, I'm sorry, we're going to stay on Ellis for a minute. So Mark Hazy, which is Eric Parker's attorney, pointed out during cross-examination that Ellis testified on the 12th that he went to Bunkerville and he did help take video for Flynn. Now, Ellis went ahead and he identified Eric Parker, and he said that he saw Eric previously on the stage. Now, if you remember last week, I saw the video of Eric Parker on the stage, and the video that was submitted by the prosecution was of Eric Parker unarmed at the staging area, and he was singing the Star Spangled Banner. Okay, so Ellis did testify that Eric Parker was armed, and like I said, again, we went over the video, and the video clearly shows Eric is not armed and was not on the stage. Eric Parker was singing the Star Spangled Banner like I reported to you last week. Hazy asked Ellis what made Eric stick out, and his response was that Eric was wearing a chest rig and was not wearing camo like the other guys. Now, that made Eric stick out to Ellis and made him view Eric more as an individual than as part of a group. Okay, so this part is my favorite. Ellis claimed to see Scott Drexler at the staging area. When he was asked to identify Scott, he circled Eric Parker. So he was not able to identify Scott Drexler. He identified Eric Parker as Scott Drexler, but he was so sure that Eric Parker was armed on the stage, and he was so noticeable because of his chest rig. Okay, I hope you guys see the problem with this. When he was questioned a little more, he went back and said, okay, well, I made a mistake. And he went back and he went back to identify Scott Drexler, and he circled Stephen Stewart this time. So we had two bad identifications on Ellis's part. Ellis did testify that he could not see the BLM from his position, and that the videos were not shown in order. Ellis also testified that when Flynn asked him to take notes of what the BLM was saying, he really couldn't take any notes or report on what the BLM was saying, because the BLM, remember, was yelling at the crowd through a megaphone, and Ellis testified that it was not clear. He was unable to hear their instructions, and so he couldn't tell you what the BLM was saying or what they were thinking. Okay, so the next witness we had today, he came in, and that was Trey Shilley. Now, he was a Forest Service employee, and he was on vacation in Vegas, or from Vegas to Colorado. Now, Shilley stopped on the bridge, and he was only on the bridge for about 10 minutes. He was stopped in traffic. Hey, Tab, I miss you. He was only on the bridge for about 10 minutes and took pictures. He did see Eric Parker, and he did take about 8 or 9 photos of Eric Parker, and he was in the prone crouch position. However, the whole time Eric did not have his finger on the trigger at all. He did testify that he felt fear. However, he didn't call 911. And there was also highway patrol right there. So my question to him is, if you were so fearful for the officers or your own life, why didn't you call 911? Why did you wait to say something until it came on the news and you turned your footage over to the FBI? So, to me, that's another one that you take with a grain of salt. He was on the bridge for 10 minutes, sat in his car for 45 minutes. Okay. Now, another important thing with Shilley is that he met with the U.S. Attorney 3 times and the FBI 4 times prior to his testimony. I see a problem with that as well. And then we have the last witness, who was was it Shannon Serena? Okay. Shannon Serena testified during the last trial how wonderful and helpful Todd Engel was, what a great guy he was, patted him on the back, felt no fear. Well, today he testified that he was afraid of Todd Engel, that he was in the crouch position, the barrel was through the bridge, made him out to be this horrible monster. He completely wins Jackass Award today for the biggest perjury. We are going to get the transcripts of the last hearing, and we're going to publish it. I have a problem with the Nevada State Highway Patrol lying and perjuring themselves on the stand. Okay, so he also claims that he was sent down to help the BLM and was called off to, it was around 11 a.m. to assist officers that were being held at gunpoint. Okay, guys, there was nobody down in the wash at 11 a.m. So I don't know who he was assisting, and that was just another lie. Okay, so again, his testimony was completely different than it was during the last trial. And then again, if Serena was so worried about the protesters on the bridge, why didn't he attempt to move said protesters off the bridge? Why didn't he make an arrest? If he was so fearful, why didn't he make an arrest? Why? Okay, so these are the questions that you guys need to be asking, and we'll get you the answers. I'll also get you his testimony. So is there any questions out there? Hey, cause I'm on here and I'm still standing, so. All right, well, it looks like that's about it. I will keep you guys posted. I will do another live update tomorrow. Hopefully it won't be so late. Again, I apologize it's so late. And I'd like to thank y'all for tuning in. Continue to stand. Peace.
Good. So what's